Right, today we continue with our study of S 3.11, the embedded suttas, the two of them, page 18. If you look at page 18, you see the number there, SD 3.11, and then close together 6.1. Do you notice that? Page 18? 18. This one is a printed one. Yes, printed one. Printed one. Do you have this? Inside your book. Yes, page 18. Okay, because this is the new version. Okay. Right. So you notice that if you have a brackets there, you can see SD 3.11 and then bracket 6.1. That means it is in section 6.1. Okay, so it's called embedded sutta. That means it's something extra. It's connected with the Rāhula Sutta, which we have studied before. This one is called Catukka Rāhula Sutta. Catukka means set of fours. Okay, quartets, or something they call tetrads. Fours. Here I use the simple English. The fours discourse to Rāhula. That means there are four things here. Then you see the next line there, A 4.177. Can you see that? Okay, this is the sutta number, A 4.177. That means this comes from, this sutta has got four things, right? And then it is sutta number 177. And after that is the volume and page number in the Pali text. Okay, 2:164. FF means the following page, 164, 165. And then you have the traditional number. This one is in the Myanmar, the Tipitaka, A 4.4.3.7. This is the old style of classifying the sutta. This helps us to locate the sutta in the Burmese Tripitaka. Now this part of the sutta already comes from Rāhula Sutta. So here it is taken by itself because it's important. It is meant to be a reflection. Remember, when we study suttas, it's not just about knowing suttas. We got thousands of scholars in the world who study suttas, so many decades and years, hundreds of years in fact. I don't think any of them are enlightened or even Buddhists, So that's because they know, some of them know the sutta very well, and when I read their writings, I find it quite helpful for me. But as Buddhists, knowing the sutta is only the first stage. It's just like, I know you, I say, oh, I know this person. It doesn't really do much. What do you do when you know someone? You do things together. You help each other. You gather together like this, right? You help each other. So that part is very important. You got to help yourself. So knowing the sutta is one thing. The sutta is a method. It's a path. You know the path. It's just like you tell your friend, oh, I know how to get from here to Clementi. You know it, but you don't go there. See? Or you can tell people, but you've never been there. Okay. So the idea is, you should go there if it's a place which is worthy of going. Right. The path is something we travel. Okay. Actually, there's no path here. When we say path, we mean our own effort. This is the path right here. As you sit here and practice, every time you sit, you close your eyes, you watch your breath. That's the path. You are moving on. Okay. You are sitting here peacefully. You could have been doing a lot of other things which are not peaceful. There are many other people who are not peaceful like you right now. That's your path. The path of peace. And if you go on like this, as you are doing this, you're also growing old. Suddenly you wake up when you're 70 years old already.
Wow.
I remember like only yesterday I was 16 years old, And suddenly I'm 70, right? Well, that's the way time works, Sometimes you say, what happened now? Where are all my friends? Right? Old people start disappearing. You can feel quite lonely, But when you study the sutta, you understand a lot of things. You understand karma, you understand rebirth. You are happy. When you're happy, you don't feel lonely. See, feeling alone is different from lonely, Alone means you enjoy the peace by yourself. You're sitting down there under a tree, very beautiful, very peaceful. The Buddha is always alone under a tree. Okay? But lonely is something else. Lonely means you want someone, you want something. That's lonely. That's different. Okay? So here you are. We have this Catukka Sutta. Okay? What do you think are the 4 things? We've studied these 4 things before, right? The 4 elements. Okay? So this kind of sutta, this is one of them. The other one is somewhere inside. If you look, you can see another short one. Page 21, right? That's called Rāhula Dhātu Sutta 1. Okay? So these are related suttas. And the question we can ask is this: how was Rāhula taught by the Buddha? Obviously, the Buddha didn't just teach Rāhula one sutta only, right? I mean, the Buddha is always there in the monastery somewhere, and there are lots of monks. Every day he is teaching. There is no holiday for the Buddha. Of course, the Buddha takes breaks every day, twice a day. He will sit and meditate when the sun is rising, just before dawn, and then when the sun is setting. Okay? When the day begins and the day ends, the Buddha will be meditating. So, whenever Rāhula comes, the Buddha will teach him, or the Buddha will be teaching, Rāhula will be listening. In fact, all these great monks, they have a special quality. It's called their foremost quality, the Agga quality. Agga means the topmost, the foremost quality. They have special quality. Some monks have more than one quality. Ananda has got 4 or 5 good qualities. Rāhula's special quality is this: his willingness to learn. He is the foremost of all the monks who show willingness to learn. He's very eager to learn. He's always asking, what I can learn from this teacher? What can I learn from that teacher? In fact, he gets up in the morning, it is said, he will take a handful of sand, he will reflect. He says, today, may I learn as much things as there is sand in my hand. We say is because you can't count the sand. Okay? May I learn today as much as there is sand in my hand. That's how we become wise. That's how we become intelligent, and then we become wise. Intelligent means know a lot. Wise means you know what good to do with this intelligence, with this knowledge. This is a wonderful habit, to want to learn, to be curious, not giving up. When you have a chance to learn, you learn. Or you ask yourself, what do I learn from this? What does this tell me? You are your best teacher. And your best teacher are your mistakes, your weaknesses. Because, that's why the Buddha gave us 5 precepts, Because these are 5 things very difficult to do. But these are the rules of the game. 5 rules. It's like football. There are football rules, If you say, let's play football, don't follow the rules. What do you call that? It's not football, right? So you want to be human? 5 precepts. That's what defines you as a human. No 5 precepts? You're not human. You behave like worse than animals. Even animals, my 2 cats respect each other, The little cat waits for the big cat to eat first. See, they also got some respect. So, the 5 precepts make us human. The 5 precepts prevent us from falling below the human state. So, that's our practice as human beings, right? So here, Rāhula, he loves learning, right? That is a special quality. So here, he will listen to the Buddha will teach him, other monks will teach him, because he's a young monk, so you can imagine the Buddha taught him a lot of things. So here, this is a set of suttas, 3 of them, the long one and then the 2 short ones. So let's look at this first one as a reminder for us. So we are supposed to reflect on this sutta. To reflect means to remember and to understand, to practice. That's the meaning. You may say, oh yeah, I know that, I heard that sutta. Yeah, you can say that, but don't stop just because you say, I know already, right? Some people, they ask, okay, what's the talk today, what's the study today? And then someone say, okay, it is about karma. And then this person say, oh, I already know about karma. If you already know, that means you're enlightened. Right? Remember, we know, but we may not understand. We may not understand. Understanding is different. Understanding is to go deeper, how to use that knowledge to be free from suffering. That's understanding. Okay? Right. Let's look at this sutta number 1. Then the Venerable Rāhula approached the Blessed One, saluted him and sat down at one side. Seated at one side, the Blessed One said to the Venerable Rāhula thus. Notice here, Rāhula didn't ask anything. So the Buddha decided what to teach to him that day. Now, Rāhula, both the internal earth element and the external earth element are simply the earth element, or hardness, if you like. Okay? So obviously here it's like a repeat teaching, all right? Because we forget these things, right? If I ask you, do you remember the first lesson we studied? I think this time is number 30 something, nearly 40 meetings already, right? We can't remember. So we have to remind ourselves. Alright? So here, the Buddha is reminding Rāhula, okay, you have earth element. Earth element are the solid parts of our body, head hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin, bones, and so on. But basically, earth element refers to, for example, you're sitting down now on the floor, on the chair. You're supported by the chair, by the ground. There is resistance. That is the earth element. Earth is just a word, but don't think of earth as a thing. Okay? You can say it's a state or situation, if you like. It is hardness, the state of something hard. It is changing all the time. See, if you sit too long, if I sit too long, I feel tired, I feel uncomfortable. Because this hardness is changing all the time. After a while, you don't feel comfortable. So you got to change your posture. Right? All right. When you move, it's the wind element. Wind element, right? And then there's water element. There's a liquid inside you. Okay? And then you feel warm. That's the fire element. So there you are. These are the 4 elements in your body. Okay? Your body is made up of the 4 elements. That's one way of reflecting on the body. I am nothing but the 4 elements. That's one way. Another way is I am nothing but the 5 senses. Depends which one you like. You can use to reflect. Okay? So the Buddha said, okay, internal earth element, your head hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin, bones, and so on. And all these elements outside, you see the table, chairs, even air molecules, they're the same thing. How is that so? This is very interesting. This is bordering on the scientific. We all take food, right? You take, we call it carbohydrates, very big word. Rice, kway teow, all this stuff. We also take meat. All these are earth elements. So vegetables, we chew. Right? We chew them and then we swallow them. And then this food goes into our belly, then it gets digested. Then the stomach absorbs this food, it becomes us. Any part of it goes back into nature. So that's how earth element from outside becomes our earth element inside, and then we give it back. Right? Every time like this little bit of our skin is falling off all over here, wherever you go, we call it dust, but it actually is our dust. Of course, there are other people's dust also. Right? And then you go to the toilet, you see hair everywhere, hair drops. Right? So that's our earth element. We take in, we give back. We cannot hold everything. We give back. Alright, so that's the meaning here. The Buddha says internal earth element, external earth element, they are the same thing. And that should be seen. Here, seen is not merely with your eyes. Seen also means to understand, to see with your mind. You see, because next phrase says, according to reality, as they really are. When you see, maybe you might say, why is this toilet so dirty? But the real thing is all earth element, okay? With right wisdom. Right wisdom means what? It is impermanent. All these things shows that we are impermanent because earth element is changing, shifting in a flux all the time. Our body never remains still. I mean, we may sit very still, even when you are meditating, sitting in meditation, but everything is moving. It's just like when you're those old days, the movie you see on the screen, the film, long strip of film, right? Nowadays everything is digital, so you don't see this. But those old movies, each frame, there's a speed it must go, a couple of speed. So you look at the picture on the wall, it seems as if something is, they're all moving. But it's because our eyes follow the speed, you see. If you don't follow the speed, you can't see. You look at the long strip of cellophane, you don't know what it is. You got to project it to the wall. You call it the movies, but the reality is nothing is moving there. See, now this, if you understand Buddhism, you see, nothing is moving there. It's your mind that quickly follows it, and then you get the story. Nothing moving. All right. There was once I had this very interesting experience similar to this in a train. I was sitting in Jurong East train and the rain was falling. Not heavy, but you can see the drops. The rain, no wind, so the rain fell straight down. Very nice. You sit in the train, there's a glass wall there, you're very safe and dry inside. You can see all this raindrop. You say, wow, look at this, very nice. And the train start to move, Now, as the train moved, I noticed something. I said, hey, is that the wind blowing the rain? Because the rain starts slanting. And after the train moves very fast, the rain is horizontal. I said, that's not possible. How can the rain be horizontal? Then I realized, I remember Buddha's teaching. Because the train is moving, the rain seems to go horizontal. And then I understood when the train slowed down. So I looked very carefully. When the train slowed down, the rain also slowly shift back to vertical. And then the train move again, and then it goes horizontal again. So this is a lesson in a train, Dharma lesson. You can see this amazing way. But the rain is just falling, nothing is happening. But here, this person in the train notices this. So where's the change? It's in your mind, right? So it's just like there's this Zen story. Usually don't tell Zen story, but this one is quite sensible. There were these two monks. Monks, they got nothing much to do, So they, in this case, they decide to argue with each other because they all know a lot, you see, right? So there was this in China. So there's this scroll, or some people say flag, and the wind is blowing it, so it's flapping. Okay? So these two young monks decide to test their wisdom. First one says, see, the flag is moving. Then the other one says, no, it's the wind is moving. So both of them say, flag, wind, and argue. That's all they know. See, very limited knowledge. Here comes along the teacher, Teacher said, oh, you both are wrong. It's your mind that's moving. Alright, so that's supposed to be a very great Zen story. And then another clever teacher in the 21st century wants to correct the Zen master. So the teacher says, oh, they're all wrong. All three are wrong. The mouth is moving. Now you can add on to this story if you like. But anyway, I think we can settle with the idea the mind is the one that makes all these things happen. Right? It's our own idea. So the mind is very powerful. So the mind sees the earth element as something hard, right? And changing. So notice all this, everything is changing. So what do we do with this? This is our next reflection. Well, this is another level already. Okay? This is a little deeper than impermanence. Because here the Buddha said, right wisdom. So right wisdom means what? Don't own it. You cannot own it. I mean, we all comb our hair, we look very nice, or here a bit sengit, push in a bit, comb nice, and look okay, Actually, we all look, that's the way it is, No matter how we look, people still don't notice, That's the sad part, Especially when you go to the dentist, This dentist really smash up your hair, and mess up your hair. So you don't bring a comb, you say, oh dear, I hope I look okay. Actually, we all look okay, but we're so worried about it. So there you are. We care so much for our hair. But then you go to the toilet, you see your hair all over the... Why do you collect that, It's your hair. It's on the... Now normal, your hair. It's all in the drain, on the drain, right? Same thing with fingernails. You cut and then there it is. And so on. So, don't own it. It's not yours. It's gone. So here the Buddha tells Rāhula, reflect in this way. Earth element, this is not mine. So next time you see the hair in the toilet, this is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself. This is very easy lesson in the toilet, okay? But it gets harder after a while. Then you see your real hair. Okay, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. And you see a nice patch in the center, the hair starts disappearing as you age, Okay? So this is letting go of the idea of owning this hardness, this earth element, not being attached to it. Okay? So when your body changes, you are not troubled by it. This is all part of life, part of the deal. Then the Buddha goes on, having seen it thus as it really is, with right wisdom, one is revulsed by the earth element. By wisdom, the mind becomes detached or lust-free. Right? Here, very powerful word, revulsed. That means, you see the hair in the toilet, you don't want it, you're disgusted with it, So that's what it is. Right? Of course, this is not to hate. There's no hatred here, it's wisdom. No one will want to keep the hair in the toilet. But it's the same thing, the hair on the head also same. Say, well, I have this hair, fine, So you're not attached to it, basically. That's the meaning. You take it like that. This is a very wise word. Like that, Sometimes the Buddha would say that, like that. And there's a Pali word, it's called tadisa. The Buddha is like that. Like that means you can't really define him. He's awakened. He's like that. Alright? But this is a good sense. So this is the reflection. Don't own anything. You have it for a while, but it's going to move on. Your breath comes in, goes out. We'll come to the wind element and you can see that. Now, next section 3. Now Rāhula, both the internal water element and the external water element are simply the water element. Right? Here you are. Water inside my body. Water here means liquid, fluid, and the water in the glass. Right? I drink it, it goes inside me, my body absorbs it, right? And then the water goes inside my body. Okay? And then I have to give back. And that should be seen according to reality, with right wisdom thus. This is not mine, this I'm not, this is not myself. Having seen it thus, as it really is with right wisdom, one is revulsed by the water element. By wisdom, the mind becomes detached, lust-free. You see, this is the benefit. The mind is no more attached to our body. Not attached means what? I mean, you are still there in your body. You cannot say, oh, your body is there, you don't care. Next time you come, you don't bring your body. It doesn't make sense, right? It means you are not bothered by pain. You're not bothered by things you don't get for the body. You are at peace with yourself. You are happy. But you take care of this body. There are lots of teaching in the suttas and the Vinaya where the monks are told to take care of their health. Because if the monks get sick, and the Buddha himself declared to the monks, said, monks, you have no family to take care of you, and if you fall sick, you have to take care of each other. If you want to serve me, you must serve the sick. Very, very beautiful words the Buddha said. Yeah? So he does talk about health also. But we should not be overly attached to our body. Take it as it is. It is changing. It's impermanent. It's made up of 4 elements. So this one's the second element. Now the next one, the third element. Now you can see some numbers there, M62, 10.2, right? This tells you where, if you look at the Rāhula Sutta, which is M62, in section 10.2 you see the same passage. Okay? Now Rāhula, both the internal fire element and the external fire element are the same fire element. Or the scientists will agree, okay? You feel your body heat and the heat outside. It's heat. It's just heat, you see, all right? But remember, in Buddhism, fire has another very powerful meaning. It also means decay. We are burning all the time. Oxidization, right? We are decaying all the time. And that should be seen according to reality with right wisdom thus. This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Okay? Now, if you do not see the significance of this here, you try this next time. When you are angry, for example, you just get your mindfulness back. Because when you're angry, you're not mindful, So become mindful. You say, how you become mindful? Accept the anger as it is. You notice a lot of angry people don't accept it. You say, you're angry. You say, no, I'm not angry. Actually, angry. But they deny it. If you deny it, anger will build up. So when you're angry, quietly say, wow, this is anger. This is anger. And you see, it's not very pleasant. You can feel heartbeat, high, quite high rate, Blood pressure also goes up. And, oh yes, look yourself in the mirror. Or get a phone and then take a picture of you. Very ugly. All these silly movies that tell you, oh, you look pretty when you're angry. I'm not very sure about that. I mean, after they get married, they get that kind of face in real trouble, Right? So, anger is not good. So, then you look in your mind, with your mind, you look at this anger and say, this is not mine. I'm letting this go, letting this go. This is the easiest to practice, actually. Anger is the easiest to let go. Okay, the 3 poisons, greed, hate, delusion, right? Hate is anger. It's the easiest to let go, Last, a bit more difficult, right? You go shopping and say, I don't need this, I don't think I want to buy this. Oh, never mind, how much? Very difficult. Last usually have the better of you. But worse than last is delusion, because you don't even know what it is. We get cheated, Right? So last is the most difficult. This delusion is the most difficult to overcome. Anger is the easiest. By reflection, by disowning the anger. Pain also can, not so easy, but it helps, you know. I remember when I went to the dentist, wow, he's going to pull out this big tooth. So I have to reflect, okay, pain, that's all it is, you know. Or you can feel the dentist trying to, you know, remove that tooth. I say, oh, I hope my jaw doesn't break, you know, so on. So you just say, so those are all just thoughts, you see. So you say pain, you find it's gone. The dentist say, oh, it's out already. Okay, we are worrying about it. So there was one occasion which was very funny. I remember as a kid, you know, I was afraid of the dentist. The dentist said, open your mouth. I said, The dentist said, I have not touched your tooth yet. I said, already. So you become very scared, you see. So there's a fear. It's in your own mind, you see. All right? So don't own the pain. Remember, don't own the pain. Right? So these are short little words to help you have a handle on the deeper, broader teachings here. So having seen it thus as it really is, with right wisdom, one is revulsed by the fire element. By wisdom, the mind becomes detached, lust free. Right? Notice detached means lust free. Okay, the brackets explains the meaning of the word. No? So you are not attached to it. You are not troubled by it. And now the fourth element. Now, Rāhula, both the internal wind element and the external wind element are simply the wind element. And that should be seen according to reality with right wisdom. Thus, this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. Having seen it thus as it really is with right wisdom, one is revulsed by the wind element. By wisdom, the mind becomes detached, lust-free. Okay? So, you can vary your breath meditation next time. Let's say you watch in out, or you count, then you find a bit boring after a while. Then you can reflect and say, oh, okay, I'm breathing in, no, and I'm giving it back. This is not mine, okay? This is, I'm letting it go, okay? So you reflect on the breath as something it's not really yours. The air comes in. After all, what is breath? It's just the air. What is really happening is your body expanding and closing like a big bag, you know. The air comes in, the air goes out, right? So you reflect that way. Then you find, wow, this is interesting, you know, right? It's just air, right? Then the last paragraph says, when Rāhula, a monk, here monk means meditator, regards neither self nor what pertains, neither a self nor what pertains to a self connected with a self. In any of these elements, he is called a monk who has cut off craving, has unraveled the fetter. Fetter here means something that stops your mind from becoming calm. You have removed it. And by breaking through conceit means something like pride. Say, oh, I'm like this, I'm like that, kind of idea, conceit. So he has made an end of suffering. Okay, so this is the end result. Okay, you free yourself from suffering. Even now, you remove a bit of suffering. See, right now, as we are sitting here, we don't think about all those unhappy things, right? It's a temporary release from suffering. Okay? That's how we got to do regularly, study the sutta, remember it. Then we are more and more trained not to suffer. So there you are. These are the four elements. Don't own them. Don't hate them either. Just take them as they are. That's what we really are when I'm speaking, but and yet we cannot say we are it. Everything is changing, everything is moving. Okay? Any questions?
These four elements, which is the easiest to
reflect on?
Not to be attached to.
Well, I think this again depends on your personality. you can ask the little child, okay, earth, water, fire, wind, which one do you like most? So they will say, oh, I like earth. So I say, I like water because I like to swim. So these are, in a sense, the personality types, in a sense, okay. So you find out first what kind of element they connect best with, and use that. You use that to practice.
Yes, I'm thinking, if there's a room, and then there's a smell, you say, who's that? Everybody will say, not me, not me.
Well, there's a chance to keep the precept. Well, if someone is clever, they'll say, it's not my fault, it's your food. Anyway, so that's another level of practice. You say smell. Okay, so we don't evaluate the smell. All right. So again, those are the six senses, right? Yeah. Even what you call thoughts also. Right? Thoughts are most tricky. You reflect on thoughts also. All right. Okay. Any other question before we take a break for the closing one? The closing one I'll teach you we take it as a reflection, all these things we have learned before. Yes.
Can I say that these four elements is actually only for reflections? So whenever you have reflected already, right, then you're able to let go.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to continue to...
Yes, of course, they are meant for reflection. All right? They in a sense, they don't exist in themselves, because they're all part of the same thing. It's how we look at them. I mean, just like scientists will tell you, they show you a picture of the atom and say it's no such thing, because the atom is moving all the time. Right? So the four elements also moving all the time. So here, the Buddha is taken into parts. This is called the analytical approach. Most of the Buddha's teaching are analytical approach. The other approach is called the synthetical approach, where they put ideas together. That's a bit more difficult, and we don't often use that kind of method. All right, so this one you analyze, okay, these are the four elements, and then so it helps you to see yourself in true light, we say.
So it can be like vice versa, right? So means like for people who really, they meditate, they just follow, like for example, focus on moving, then they're able to realize these four elements.
Oh yeah, yes. This is like a beginner syllabus, you see. But once you start practicing, you'll find there's no order. They're all connected. Everything is interconnected. The teaching, it's not like separate things. We just like you learn to play music, teacher will say, okay, this is it, major key, this is minor key, this is one set passage, this is something like that. But once you play, everything goes together. You cannot separate them. It's like that, just like human beings. These are my arms, legs, head. You cannot separate them. They all work together. You see? So, everything works together. Okay, we'll take a short break, and then because the next passage is slightly longer. And this one is we will do it differently, like a puja. It's called responsive reading. Okay, I will explain to you in a moment. It's very easy, in fact very nice, very delightful to do. Page 21, Rāhula Dhātu Sutta 1. The original name of the sutta is simply Dhātu Sutta 1. There are lots of Dhātu Sutta. So I put a brackets in front, a prefix. The word Rāhula comes from the traditional name. You find in the traditional reference is S2.7.1.9, and then you find this sutta is found in Rāhula Sutta, the collection called Rāhula. This is a reflection on the emptiness of the six elements. Six elements here. So we have learned four elements: earth, water, fire, wind. The fifth element is space. Remember we did that, And then the sixth one is consciousness. Consciousness also is an element, but this actually is the mind. So here, element simply means something like a thing. Okay, a very general term. In fact, number 6, the conscious element, very difficult to meditate on. So normally it's not included. Even in the Rāhula Sutta, I think only 5, right? All right? So this one is the complete one. All right. Now, once you see like this is probably taught later than the Rāhula Sutta, when the Buddha introduced number 6. So this is where you can look at yourself. Say, divide into body and mind. We have 2 parts, body and mind. So body will be the first, if you like, first 5 elements, including space. The funny thing about space is empty. There's nothing there. I will still call it element. Okay. If you know what it means, so just imagine it's something like the word thing. Okay. And then consciousness is the mind. These are the 6 things that we are. Okay. Now, so notice the sutta starts at Savatthi. This is the location. And after that, you have a dialogue. The Buddha asks a question, the monks respond. Okay, so today you play the role of the monks, right? So I will read the Buddha's side. So you just respond. Okay, so this is to revise. Rāhula, you reply as Rāhula. Okay. At Savatthi. What do you think, Rāhula? Is the earth element permanent or impermanent?
Impermanent, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent unsatisfactory or satisfactory?
Unsatisfactory, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and subject to change fit to be regarded thus? This is mine. This I am. This is not. This is myself.
No, Bhante.
Is the water element permanent or impermanent?
Impermanent, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent unsatisfactory or satisfactory?
Unsatisfactory, Bhante.
Instead of unsatisfactory, you can also say suffering. Also can. Is what is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and subject to change fit to be regarded thus? This is mine. This I am. This is myself.
No, Bhante.
Is the fire element permanent or impermanent?
Impermanent, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent unsatisfactory or satisfactory?
Unsatisfactory, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent unsatisfactory and subject to change fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, this I am, this is myself?
No, Bhante.
Is the wind element permanent or impermanent?
Impermanent, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent unsatisfactory or satisfactory?
Unsatisfactory, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and subject to change fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, this I am, this is myself.
No, Bhante.
Is the space element permanent or impermanent?
Impermanent, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent unsatisfactory or satisfactory?
Unsatisfactory, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and subject to change fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, this is my, thus I am, this is myself? Is the consciousness element permanent or impermanent?
Impermanent, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent unsatisfactory or satisfactory?
Unsatisfactory, Bhante.
Is what is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and subject to change fit to be regarded thus? This is mine, this I am, this is myself.
No, Bhante.
Seeing thus, Rāhula, the tutored noble disciple is revulsed with the earth element, is revulsed with the water element, is revulsed with the fire element, is revulsed with the wind element, is revulsed with the space element, is revulsed with the consciousness element. Through revulsion, he becomes dispassionate. Through dispassion, he is free. Freed there arises the knowledge. Free. He understands, destroyed is birth. The holy life has been lived. What needs to be done has been done. There is no more of this state of being. Okay, so this is the Arahat's review knowledge. Nah? He's already understood everything. So there's a correction there, by the way. The person addressed should be Rāhula. Okay? No, because this is we cut and paste, so we forgot to change. So human error. Okay. All right. So there you are. How do you feel this responsive reading? So it reminds you, helps you to remember. Yeah? So you can do this as a puja also. You can select just that section that you find that you like. All right. Any questions about this? So remember, revulsion means something like you know what it is, and you are no more cheated by it. You say, oh no, I'm not attracted to this. So you let go of it. Yeah? I mean, you can apply this to daily life. For example, some people like to go gambling. They go to the casino. You know you will lose. Yeah? So you tell yourself, what's the point of going? I'm sure to lose. People go there for the excitement, but then you lose a lot of money, right? So once you think like that, you say it's not really worth it, and then you correct yourself that way, because you see the real thing, what's going on. You see inside you see outside you, like that.
Sometimes how to control. Don't go. More you gamble.
So that's why you need to reflect, okay? And then the mind will argue back. You see, yeah, just like what you hear just now, the mind will argue back. So you got to reflect. You go on. It doesn't happen suddenly, you see. So you got to go on reflecting it, right? It's just like you're climbing up a hill. Like I do my exercise. You do sit up. First time I can do 10 times easily. Second round, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times at the most. You cannot get 10, but it's good enough. So you're walking up the hill, you walk, you sit. At first very nice, now you see the view. Then halfway very tiring, like trying to catch your breath. So you rest a while, but you must move on, and slowly, steadily you will reach the top. Right? Then coming down is very easy. Okay, so this reflection strengthens you. What is pulling you to the unwholesome situation is something unwholesome, right? So you got to build up the wholesome part to pull yourself, ground yourself, anchor yourself to be strong. All right? Any questions?
How to be revolved into consciousness element?
These are thoughts. You say, okay, these are thoughts making me worry. This thought making me angry. I don't want these thoughts, like that. Okay. Or lustful thoughts. If you look at certain things, certain people, negative feelings, lustful feelings will arise. So avoid them. Yeah? So the mind is a bit tricky to observe. Yeah?
How about sometimes wholesome thought, like not happy and then.
Yeah. So you sit quiet. You accept the thoughts as they are. Label the thoughts. Say, okay, this unhappy thought. Worrying thoughts. So this is what it's like. Observe it. So this time you observe, okay, this is what worrying is. This is whatever kind of thought. So you watch the thought. So once you go on watching the thought, you find after a while the mind will switch to something else. That's the interesting thing. You stop paying interest to it. So that the mind is like that, always looking for something to hold on to. The Buddha said the mind is like a monkey, in the trees. The monkey jumps from tree to tree, must always hold on to a branch, right? And then let go, next one, like that. So the mind is like that. You must hold on to an idea. So as long as you hold on to a happy thought, then the negative thought will go away, like that. So choose a happy thought. You have a choice, you see. Now remember, if you have negative thoughts and then you become stressful, it's not good. Some people say if you're too stressful, you might get cancer. Some people say that. Whatever it is, It's better to be happy.
The person is very involved in work. No time to rest.
Mm.
It's a lot of stress.
Yes.
What to do with this sort of person?
Tell him to come and see me. Then I'll talk to that person. Yeah, because whatever I say here won't be useful to that person. You've got to tell that person directly. It's called counseling. So, or you can talk to that person and say, what are you working for? You have no time to enjoy it, no health to enjoy it, right? Okay, any other questions you want to ask about Dharma? Yes?
When a doctor certified a person dead, so based on the 4 elements, right, or 6 elements, when the doctor certified the patient dead, firstly is the wind element, right? No breath, no chi.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
The patient dead. But then after that, spiritually, which one is
the heat is still there, the fire element, and then of course the last is consciousness. It was very tricky. We don't know whether it's still there or not. So that's why we have this tradition of keeping the body. We keep awake. We say awake. That means we jaga. That's the meaning. No, there are stories. It's people. For some reason they appear to be dead, but and no one checked. And then they came back. See, they woke up. See, very rare, but it does happen. See? So that's why they keep the awake. This one is, but it's very rare. Okay, so usually you will know the body is very cold. That means fire element gone. So the person really dead. All right. Anything else?
When you or the hair element.
Hair or hair? Hair. Okay. Yes.
You were saying that you go to wash so much oil. You see those hair, you can't be honestly because it's not me, it's not mine.
Yeah. Yes.
Those are not me. When the food is served, and then that's a hair.
Right.
You can say this is me, it's not mine.
Yeah.
No,
it's the same thing. You feel disgusted with that one hair, see? So you.
Why is there a difference with this?
Because you're going to eat that.
Actually, the reaction to the hair is no different, you see? The hair, you look at the hair in the drain, right? So.
Consciousness.
No, I think this one is a habit. I mean, if I see a hair there, I say, wow, this person worked very hard and the hair drop in, So I just take it away. I don't feel. There was once when I ordered some rice, there was a fly in it. So I have to give it back. Because we are so trained, we get very worried when we eat those germs and so on. In a sense, it's a conditioning, you see. So just reflect on it, So like I said, for me, I would reflect compassionately. Say, wow, this worker really worked hard. The hair dropped in, So just take it out. I mean, just a hair, But fly is a problem, you see, right? So you got to tell the person to be more careful, because there are a lot of flies in the shop. It's not healthy, all right? Okay, so we will close here. Let us sit quietly for a while to dedicate merits, to reflect on this wonderful occasion. The 4 elements remind us of what we really are. Earth, water, fire, wind. All these 4 elements are all the in a flux, they're changing all the time. Sometimes we have too much of one element, and then we will suffer because of that. So these elements remind us of what we are, how we are. So, and the most important thing is to understand all these elements are impermanent, changing, becoming other. So when we reflect in this way constantly, our mind begins to think in a more mature way. Mature means according to reality. We don't create our own false reality or virtual reality. And if we do that, we don't really enjoy life, so to speak. Because to be a Buddhist is to truly enjoy life. That means to put joy in your life, not to suffer. And the Dhamma does just that to us. The Dhamma helps us to enjoy life in the true sense of the word, joy. Reflecting in this way is very good karma. But the power of this good karma we have done today, we have gathered here, keeping the precepts, meditating, studying the suttas, asking Dhamma questions, by the blessings of the three jewels. May we be blessed with good health, peace, inner peace and wisdom. Above all, may we have the courage to aspire to stream winning, at least in this life itself. May our loved ones and relatives to be well and happy. May they too see the true teaching in this life itself. May those true practitioners, serious practitioners, to see the Dhamma in this life itself. And may those who are lost or having difficulties with the Buddha's teaching to come to the true path in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.